City of angels, great city of immortals, magnificent city of the 9 gems, seat of the king, home of the gods. The universe consists of an infinite amount of suns and an infinite amount of worlds. At the center of each is Mount Meru. From every nation, from 12-fold tongues, all come and stand in the shade of this city.
Mandala. A mandala is a circle. Naturally, as a political system, a mandala is a political circle, a radiance of power, using a combination of charisma and force, to draw in the hinterlands. This encapsulated the political systems of Southeast Asia before the mid-19th century, borderless kingdoms where one could fall between competing spheres of power. These ideas of land and lordship were different from European ideas of power, especially those of post-Westphalian Europe. Today, a nation has complete authority up to its border, and none across it, but in the past authority radiated outward. It could be bright in the center and diminish towards the edges. Powers caught between mandalas, such as Laos, Cambodia, the Shan states, or Lana, Chiang Mai, might pay a small tribute to each potential center, and could even be a lesser mandala in its own right. Scholars have termed this system a galactic polity. Just as a star draws in its planets, each planet can have a pull on its own moons. As a political system, the mandala ended with the rise of colonialism. The Siamese and British argued incessantly over where to place boundaries between new British conquests in Burma and Siamese dependencies on the frontier. The British sought to define a distinct border, whereas the Siamese argued that only an enemy would insist on a border, and they did not seek enmity with the British. However, the Siamese soon caught on to the rules of the game and spent much of the later 19th century converting formerly independent states that were marginally under their rule into parts of a kingdom with firm borders. Nine Gems. The Nawarat, or 9 gems, are important symbols of fortune and health across South and Southeast Asia. They are not a specific set of gems, but an association between gems and the planets, a ruby for the sun, a pearl for the moon, a diamond for Venus, and so on. The term indicates the system of royal and elite astrology patronized by the Siamese during the late 19th century, and continuing to the present day, seeking to harness some of the cosmic power of the universe in material form. In early Southeast Asia, Hinduism was a key means through which the charisma of the monarch was established and cultivated. As Hinduism gave way to Theravada Buddhism, many of these rituals remained relevant. Cities are still founded on auspicious days, kings still conduct fortune-granting rituals, and amulets featuring past monarchs or sacred signs and symbols, including the 9 gems, are still features of Thai life. Even the full name of Bangkok translates, in part, as the heavenly city built at Indra's request, home to the 9 gems, and the name of the royal island Ratanakosin means the place of the jewels. Sriwile. The Thai word Sriwile is a direct transliteration of the word civilization, but like so many loan words, its meaning in Thai is different from English. As colonial powers expanded their presence in Southeast Asia, Siamese elite sought to adopt the manner and form of the colonists, at least in some respects. Edicts went out about proper public behavior, measures against the chewing of betel nut, for instance, public dress. In a head-scratching turn of logic, Thailand's military ruler in the 1940s declared traditional Thai dress inconsistent with Thai culture, and sources of education and knowledge. But all of this had a very real political project in mind, to ensure that the Siamese would be seen as more or less equals by those powers that posed an existential threat. With the monarchies of Vietnam, Cambodia, Burma, and Laos fallen, the adoption of Sri Wile as a cultural code was a demand to be seen as equals, as people to be treated as fellow colonial powers, and not as a potential subject nation. Finally, in its very spelling, the word reflects the intellectual work in building a sense of nationalism of the early 20th century in Siam. While Sri Wile is an English loanword, its characters and spelling, e.g. the Sri instead of Si, are reminiscent of Sanskrit loanwords, thus in one swoop uniting an idea of Siam as the inheritors of a past Sanskritic civilization as well as a new, modern, European-style nation. The strategy seemed to work. Siam remained independent of direct foreign rule, despite heavy-handed influence from Britain and, later, the United States.